In the headlines, education officers asked to own new school disaster preparedness program and calls for telecommunication partners to collaborate with CREAD. Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Prisca Julien. Stay tuned for details of the headline stories and others coming up.
I believe in the natural order of things. I believe in the harmony of things. In everything we do, we have to keep it natural. I've been doing farming for now over a decade. My day is very hectic, but I make it light, because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy producing the best quality goods and to make sure that the people that receive it, they receive the best that they can ever get. Right from the farm, everything that I grow, I process them back into the farm so that the same things that grow in the farm is what protects the farm. Tourism is my business. It's not just dealing with the foreigners that come in, but it's preparing those things that when they come, they can feel and taste the difference in coming to this exotic island. And it starts with the farmer, because we provide the things that they eat, that they taste, that they drink. I believe in my heart that it's my responsibility to provide quality. My name is Tony Alves, and tourism is my business.
Welcome back. Now for the details. On Monday, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development launched a Safe School Emergency Preparedness Program. Addressing the launching ceremony at the Goodwill Parish Hall, the Honorable Minister for Education, Peter Sejean, called on all education officers to take ownership of the program for implementing in schools across the island.
I therefore implore all principals and education officers within the Ministry of Education to take immediate ownership of this program. The program is specifically concerned with enhancing community capacities by working with children on disaster risk reduction initiatives, building school emergency templates based on each community's specific areas of vulnerability, assembling disaster risk reduction guidelines for building back better, and organizing a contingency plan for the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development.
Last week, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with CDEMA, launched a Safe School program with focus on national policies and plans. Considering the efforts and enthusiasm of education officers for implementing this program, the minister believes the education system will be prepared for upcoming natural disasters.
I believe that every leader at the school level will ensure that never again will we be caught off guard when confronted by a disaster.
The Disaster Preparedness Program will ensure the country's education system is prepared for disaster, both on a local and national level. This is a critical component of the Safe Schools initiative under the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development and the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA's framework. Also this news time, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology, Julien has called for proactive mindset from those in the telecommunications sector of Dominica. Addressing the opening of a workshop last week, Blackmore expressed that there must be effective collaboration between the telecommunications partners and the Climate Resilient Execution Agency of Dominica. The workshop focused on emergency telecommunications capabilities and response and the way forward by dealing with gaps in Dominica's telecommunications systems. Blackmore encouraged synergy between the telecommunications partners and the climate resilience goals of Dominica.
Take into context how you can define and craft and draft some sort of strategy where the telecommunication capabilities can be linked very directly to CREAD. CREAD, of course, is the Climate Resilient Executing Agency in Dominica for spearheading the country's goals and objective of becoming the first climate resilient country of the world. So you have to understand the part that you have to play, the contribution you have to make to this thing. And I think that will serve as a very good strategy for us going forward. You'll be able to see the wider context, you'll be able to see the connection to what you do. And I think over the next 2 days, you can begin to challenge yourself in a very profound and informative manner to see how you could look at the linkage of the telecommunication sector to Dominica's and achieving its climate resilience capabilities.
Describing functioning telecommunications as key drivers in society, Blackmore noted that it is also one of the first signs of hope after a disaster. As such, he called for proactive action in ensuring that telecommunications in Dominica could be on a level ready to withstand the strains that disaster may cause.
We're not just talking about capabilities in communications, but it's really creating the enabling environment where prosperity, where hope, and all the other wonderful aspirations will exist. Our mindset has to be dealing with the situation of response during disaster. And since I said we have to look at it within a preemptive, within a forward-looking and a proactive sense, it means, therefore, we have to put in the enabling environment now that we have the required robustness, resilience, and the ability to withstand the stresses, the shocks, the strains that the system will definitely be subjected to.
Telecommunication partners who participated in the two-day workshop, which began on March 21st, included service providers, utility companies, the Dominica Amateur Radio Club, and government officials. International and regional companies such as Facebook, Google, and Sidemo were also represented. Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Binwa Badwell, has described the new airline welcomed into Dominica last week as an economic justification for the airport, as it will facilitate growth through providing more flights in and out of Dominica. He was welcoming the Inter-Caribbean Airlines on Thursday, 22nd March, when it made its inaugural flight to Dominica at the Douglas Charles Airport.
For us, especially so at the airport, is important because increasing traffic helps the airport to be able to function better and help us to be able to move more persons, justifies the economics of the airport.
The airline will feature direct flights in and out of Dominica for Tortola and St. Lucia.
Persons are able now to connect via Tortola to Dominica and on to St. Lucia. And so yet another gateway is being opened so that we have seats available where persons wishing to get to Dominica can do so, and persons wishing to connect from St. Lucia to Dominica now have an easy access the following day to get to Dominica.
Badwell expects more benefits for Dominica as the relationship between Dominica and the airline develops.
I know we are continuing our discussions. Our discussions are continuing because we want to do a little more with Inter-Caribbean, and I'm sure as we continue to discuss how we continue to work with Inter-Caribbean, a lot more will come from it.
Inter-Caribbean Airways Limited is a passenger airline based in the Turks and Caicos Island and offers scheduled domestic and regional services. And finally, the Discover Dominica Authority is reporting that 41% of Dominica's hotel room stock is now available. This represents 393 rooms from a total of 962 before Hurricane Maria. In a recent press release, the DDA revealed that the Fort Young Hotel will open additional rooms, while Secret Bay, Calbishi Cove, and Citrus Creek Plantation are expected to reopen in the last quarter of 2018. Also coming on stream for the island is the opening of Jungle Bay Resort and Cabrit's Resort, Kempinski, due to be opened the first half of 2019, and Anichi Resort in late 2019. The DDA says that the opening of these hotels are expected to increase Dominica's hotel stock by 340. That's the English segment of the news. Before we leave, take note of this announcement. All persons or their personal representatives owning property within the specific pound areas, that is north of Cork Street up to the Pound Apartment Complex east of the Financial Center and the Pound Apartment Complex south of Kennedy Avenue up to the Financial Center and the west of Bath Road, are advised to contact the Office of the Land and Surveys Division at your earliest possible convenience to discuss the acquisition of properties. Please bring along whatever documents you may have in your possession pertaining to the land in question. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS on facebook.com/GIS News Dominica and also follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I am Prisca Julien. Thanks for watching.